Hey friends, I don't know what I'm doing, and I think you don't know where this live is, which is not cool, and I'm not sure how to fix it. I tried to sort of test this beforehand, like one does, and it just said, "Oh yeah, it's easy. You just click the live button and you're all set." But for some reason, it's not connecting to where I probably told you the URL is, so you probably don't know where I am. I don't know where you are. I mean, maybe you're not anywhere. Maybe you are not coming. And then, you know, I'm just talking to myself. But stranger things have happened. So let's see. Though I know a few people did actually say they were going to stop by. So if you are a person, please do stop by. You can't hear me. Anyway, I'm gonna just look at this like it's my YouTube and see. Yeah, it says live now, so perhaps I am just being a dummy. It could be. My channel live. Yeah. Let's see if I can get the URL and give it to you. I'm going to post it in the community tab right now. All right. So I will edit this part out of the replay, and hopefully people will find me. In the meantime, I will answer some questions that came in on the comments, which I wrote down on a piece of paper. Oh, I will also pour my coffee. See, I was expecting this to be this, big party with like 2 or 3 people. And so I made coffee. Oh, maybe we can find some people. Sorry, the cat was in the closet. Well, if you find me, do tell your friends if you know how to contact them. And I apparently don't know how to contact anyone. Great. Yeah, you might not know this, but I worked in technology for a really long time. And clearly I never did a YouTube live video. So anyway, good evening. And if you are in fact here, do say hello, because I feel like I am talking to myself, which I think I am, and I'm probably watching myself on 2 different streams or something, which is why it seems like there's two people or 2 of me. They're all me. All the people are me. Actually, Sophia is here too. There's Sophia. And the cats they kind of come and go. So there are some people here, but they are with me, not in the internet, which is too bad. Oh, somebody is here. Yay. Hello, Beta Bitsy. Yes, you're the only one watching, and I think it's because I screwed up where the URL is. or where the video is vis-a-vis the thing that tells you that it's coming, because I've never done this before and I don't apparently know what I'm doing. I read an article and it was like, oh, it's easy, just press the button, and I did, but it didn't quite connect to the thing that tells you that there's a live show, I think. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, yes, it is just me and Sophia at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to just start answering some questions that came in on comments, and hopefully the people that actually wrote them will turn up, or they can watch this later. And hopefully other people will turn up too, because I made a whole cup of coffee, so it's a party. Okay. So a question that was asked was from J. Spain Green, and they asked, I know you have lots of great videos about ephemera, but could you please address what scanner you use and which ephemera you enjoy selling the most? Thank you. So I have 2 scanners, and one is the Epson Fast Photo 680W. It is a document feed scanner or automatic feed scanner, and it's kind of overkill. Hey, Marty came too. Hello. I'm so glad you found it, because I was being very obfuscating, not on purpose, and hiding my video feed. Yeah, got to figure out how that works a little better. So I was just talking into the void about scanners. And so yeah, I use the Epson Fast Photo 680W, and it's kind of marketed towards people who want to scan their family photos and then apparently sell it. But I bought it because I wanted to scan photos well. Hello, I'm answering your question, J. Spain Green, about scanners. And so yes, Epson Fast Photo 680. And so it has 2 modes. One is for photos, and you can like chuck all your family snapshots in there and process them really fast at a relatively high resolution, which I haven't done yet, but do plan to. Like, I have a big stack of them in my closet waiting for me to do that someday. But it also has a document mode, which is pretty good. And it's what I use for all my eBay stuff. It only goes up to like 8.5 by 11, which is usually fine. And if it isn't, there's the alternative. But yeah, it's good. I mean, I think any Epson desktop document scanner is going to be fine. I used to have a different one that was like the DS something, 600, 500, 400, 300. I don't know. But Sophia said squeak. She's leaving. And the cat wants to go in the closet. It's kind of a thing. He's kind of addicted. You want to go in the closet? Okay. Yes. Okay. So it's the Epson Fast Photo 680W. Oh my God. My cat is crazy. And it cost kind of a lot. I've had it for a while, so I don't remember, but I feel like it was in the $500 range. And it's overkill. Like, I don't really know. I was that's Sophia shaking. I was enticed by the lure of a shiny gadget, and I went for it. But you can totally get an Epson, any of the DS line, Epson DS, like 500, 400, 300. They're all fine for doing document feed automatic scanning. And I used to have one of those. And unfortunately, I bought it on eBay, and it was kind of busted, and it was refurbished. I didn't notice it for a while, and then I was just like, oh, whatever. And I gave it away to someone who I disclosed to that the function that didn't work, but it was, would have been fine if it worked. So I recommend any of the Epson document feeder ones. And if you do want to scan all your family photos, then the ES400. Yeah, I think any of the ones that sit on your desk and look kind of like a printer, an old school printer, and you stick things through. So for die cuts or tiny cards, you can definitely scan things business card size if you do them vertically, like portrait mode. It has a paper guide that goes down that small. So business cards are fine. And then it has a carrier sheet, which I'll show you because it's right here, and that's magic of the internet. So it has this thing, which is just like a clear plastic thing that opens, and you can stick your small and unusually shaped items in there and close it and then run that through. And it doesn't pick up the frosted aspect of this. It just scans it cleanly. So that works pretty well for die cuts and weird shaped things. I don't use it all the time. I just usually take a photo unless I have a ton of them to do. For heavier things, what's good about the Epson Fast Photo 680, is that it does handle some thicker items. You can kind of feed them through a different slot, or just you can put it in this like other slower mode where it can suck them in better. And so I can sometimes scan small cabinet cards or CDVs or things that are kind of thick. Not always. It's kind of like 50% of the time, but that is handy. And I definitely scan like envelopes and things. You just have to be careful that you're not letting it get bunched up and rip, but that's just being careful and not scanning things that might, like flappy envelopes or torn envelopes that might catch or something. But for your average thing, it's very smooth. If you go into automatic mode, which I do for postcards, you can cruise through them like nobody's business. And it's duplex, of course. It scans both sides at once, or you can turn that off. But yeah, I really like all of these Epsons for that reason. Like you can do an automatic mode where you stick a bunch of stuff in it and it just chunks them through, or you can do an automatic mode where it sort of waits for an amount of time you set in between. So you can scan something, then scan something, then scan something, but you're not stopping and pushing the button and restarting. It's kind of waiting for you. Like I have mine set to 3 minutes, so I can like get the next thing ready. So yeah, that's my whatchamacallit, duplex desktop document scanner. And then I also have an Epson flatbed scanner, which is the Epson Perfection V700. And it's probably at least 10 years old, but it's still the current model. There's the V700 and V750, I think. And V750 is pretty like on the top end of prosumer. A lot of professional photographers use it. You can, on that one, not on mine, but on the 750, you can like wet mount your slides and negatives somehow so that they like float. I have no idea how it works, but apparently it's very cool if you're a professional photographer. And what I like it for is scanning anything that's bigger. It's not huge. It's like maybe 12 by 14 or something like that. But I use it a lot for scanning negatives or slides or anything transparent. The way it works, if you've never seen one of these, is it's like a flatbed scanner and it opens and it closes, but light shoots through the bottom, up from the bottom and down through the top. So it can do transparencies and stuff. And it can go really quite high resolution. Not that you need that for online, but it's a really nice scanner. Like I used to use it. I bought it initially because I used to do a lot of photography. I did like art photography and I would exhibit at galleries and stuff. So I'd actually scan negatives with that. And then I had this ridiculously difficult fancy printer at the time. Like 10 years ago, printers were just more miserable than they are now. But you know, had these like ink tanks, but it was like they didn't come with it. It was like this like secondary market install thing and this ink and but that's how I printed stuff to show at galleries. And it worked well. And this printer scanner is still going strong. So um yeah, I would recommend Epson flatbeds and Epson um, duplex document scanners. Granted, I haven't really tried other ones. Kind of an Epson fan for some weird reason. Not that it's a very like appealing company or has like a good website or anything. But yeah, V600 is same line. It's probably like exactly the same with some obscure like technical difference. But yeah, I mean, the technology is so good now, and you need so little resolution to make something good on the web that it probably doesn't even matter like what you get. It's probably just like the ergonomics and the like user experience of it. Like the Epson software is it's clunky and stupid, and you have to click a lot sometimes, but it's fine. It works. It's works on my Mac, works on PC, whatever. So yes, scanners. All right. Okay. Unless somebody has questions in the chat, I'm just going to go through the ones that came in on YouTube in comments and stuff. So Julie Green, who it doesn't look like she's here, though it's interesting that we have a lot of people with green in their name. I don't know if that means anything. But Julie Green, without an E at the end, said, what platforms are you using? Do you cross-list or do you list different items on other venues? Which platforms work for you and which don't? Do you use a cross-posting service or are you able to do it via your Excel files? So I use eBay, Etsy, Hip Postcard, Hip Stamp, Discogs. I have a Shopify store. And then some like kind of other weird projects. Like I went through a phase of buying stuff at the bins and sending it to ThreadUp and swap.com, and I still have stuff for sale there. And I have a sort of bin collecting textiles in the basement I might send in someday. And I have t-shirts. I have t-shirts and swag and stuff on Redbubble, and I do some stuff with Amazon Kindle. Like I wrote a book about estate sales, and you can buy it on Amazon for Kindle or like a softcover hard copy. And then I also have my own site for that book, which is like it's like a ClickFunnels type thing. If you're not into marketing, that might mean nothing. And I wish it meant nothing to me. But basically, it's like a kind of platform where you can set it up to sell something, like one sort of specific thing, and you lead your customers through this customer journey, and you can upsell them and all this marketing brouhaha. Mine's not that fancy, but I did want to let people not just buy the book, but buy the book plus some value-added things I created, like downloads and workbook, and also get consulting with it. So I have 3 price tiers. The cats are doing really crazy stuff behind me. I'm trying to ignore it, but you might hear it. It's actually about running estate sales, and it's called Estate Sale DIY. So it's for people who know nothing about selling stuff or about running an estate sale and how to do it. Like if your relation dies and you're in charge of selling their stuff, it's like, first of all, do you want to do it yourself or hire someone? How to decide that, and then what kinds of things you should sell and how to price them, strategies for researching. It's kind of stuff we know already from being resellers, but I had the experience of running an estate sale for an aunt, and I just between that and going to them all the time, I was like, "This is something I could explain to someone who doesn't know how to do it." So I did, and it was really fun. I sometimes like writing, and, you know, it sells here and there, and I should probably market it properly, and then maybe it would sell more, I don't know. So anyway, but that's just another platform I have is that I have a separate site for that book. And then I have a separate site for my design company. I still do a little bit of graphic design work to make some big bucks here and there and in big chunks instead of small drips like, eBay. And so I have a site for that. And I feel like there's something else. I don't know. But yeah, really eBay, Etsy, and are the big ones. And my Shopify store is I'm gonna start making videos about it soon. Like I made some videos about how to set up a Shopify store, but I'll actually, sort of show mine eventually. I'm making some big changes to it and sort of relaunching at the moment, but I can say that it's not pulling in all my eBay and Etsy stuff at the moment. I might do some of that, but it's more for a totally different line of things, and some of it is, sort of specific to Salem, where I live. Like, we have a huge craft community here and also, witches and people who come for Halloween, like 1,000,000 people or something, or 500,000 or 750,000 or some insane amount of people come here in October. And there are tons of like street fairs, craft fairs, artist fairs, all this stuff. So this is my like company to do that. I just moved here less than a year ago, so this will be my first season, my first Halloween season. But I'm really excited about it. And this is like the store that online that backs it up. And I'm doing like wholesale and things I've made, like art stuff, craft stuff, other artist stuff. Um, it's very eclectic, but I'll talk about that more in a video once I get it all more to my liking. So yeah, Shopify, very interesting place. I did once try the syncing thing with Shopify and eBay and Etsy, and I almost tore my hair out. I think it's doable, but you have to be kind of organized and focused. Like I'll get back to that someday, but not today. Yes, I have 2 caffeinated beverages. Oh, and cross-listing? No, I don't do any cross-listing right now. I definitely have in the past. I went through a Vendu phase. I used to sell on Poshmark, which I do not anymore. And when I did that, I would cross-list to eBay, and Mercari and all of those. So Vendu was okay. Got the job done for what I was doing, but I'm not selling the kinds of things I want to cross-list anymore. Every platform has a specific kind of target market and a specific kind of stuff I sell, except for Hip Stamp and Hip Postcard, which pull in from eBay automatically, except that they don't export anymore, which sucks. I might get rid of Hip Stamp, though, because I really just don't sell very much on there, despite having a lot of listings. But my listings aren't really stamps, they're postal history stuff. So maybe that's not the right place for them. Let's see, cross-posting. Oh, no, I do not use Excel files to cross-post because I don't cross-post. But you can do that with Shopify, though people have written software around it that makes it probably easier. And I don't think you can bulk upload to Etsy. Yeah, like Hip is bummer lately. Like, I sell a few postcards and I have, I don't know, 5,000 postcards up there or something. This is kind of a trickle. Like, I just barely make it pay for itself. And like, I want it to work, but it's probably, if I did a real analysis, it's probably not worth my time. And also, like, like originally they sort of said you could get a deal doing 2 hip stamp and hip postcard, but they never really came through on that. So it's like I'm paying 2 subscription fees and barely selling enough to make it work. So I don't know. I want them to do well, but I don't know. Maybe they're not there yet. Um, okay. The other part of Julie's question was, since each sale is limited to 500 items, do you run sales in your store? And if so, can you explain the process? Well, actually, you can do a sale with up to 10,000 items. You have to use the other option. There's the one that's limited to 500, and then there's another one that you choose your items by category or price, and I think you can do it by condition, like new or used. And that one you can build up a group up to 10,000 if you want to. So that's that part. And I run sales in a totally haphazard way. Hope that's not disappointing, but I don't have a good like strategic methodology for that. I just sometimes run sales when like I want to push a category or just see what happens. Or I do them a lot for holidays. Like sometimes I'll do one pre-Valentine's or Christmas or whatever to push postcards or, ephemera that are related. And I tend to do volume pricing type sales sometimes with stuff that's just slow. And I have a lot of like, there's like genealogy magazines. I have quite a few, and they sell very slowly. And so there, I have a buy one, get two, get three, I don't know, sale on those permanently. And I think I might have a sale on like anything Christian or anything religious, just because I like thought it was funny or something. But yeah, I don't have a good sales strategy. Maybe I should. Let's see. Okay, so I have a comment from Deborah Copeland who said, I am struggling with the magic pick URL generator. Are there any written directions anywhere I could review to figure out what I'm doing wrong? So if that didn't make sense, the magic pick URL generator is a template I made to help people automatically generate URLs for their pictures, which are hosted outside of eBay when you're bulk listing with a CSV file and you need to link to your pictures. I said that extremely badly. I apologize. Anyway, or it was kind of upside down. So if you're bulk listing with a CSV file, which I have a lot of videos about, as you probably know, there's a part in there where you have to link to your pictures. And if you name your pictures in a systematic way, Excel can help you with a formula to just generate all those names. So I made a template called the Magic Pick URL Generator that generates those URLs. And no, there are no instructions. I mentioned it sort of briefly in the video, but I have made another video all about it. And I'm going to post that really soon because I don't think I edited it yet, but I did record it, and it's like so specific and so boring, but it should totally help you with that very one thing. And I also talk about what to do if you are only using one picture per listing or multiple, like more than 2 pictures per listing. So it's extremely dry, but it will get the job done. So that's coming very soon. Yay, boring video coming soon. Okay. Yogi Vibin asked, I feel like I'm Dear Abby or like one of those cheesy radio shows on AM in the 70s. But anyway, Yogi Vibin asked, what are common ways new eBay sellers get themselves in trouble with eBay? Well, so I think there's like you can get yourself in trouble on eBay or with eBay. So I think like when you're starting, you can get in trouble by trying to sell expensive, complicated stuff before you really know what you're doing. Like you should sell lots of things you don't care about that much first to like understand the system, and to understand shipping. That's another thing. People lose money on shipping because it's like preposterously complicated, but once you figure it out, you feel like you're really smart and you have a skill many Americans are jealous of. So yeah, learning how postage works, falling prey to scams, and I guess mostly just like impatience, not like you have to give it time. When you start, you have a seller limit, an item limit, and it's a pain, and you have to like sell a few things and then list some more. But you have to just be patient, and then you have to be patient some more and not think that just because your first few things didn't sell, nothing ever will, because things eventually will, hopefully. And in terms of getting in trouble with eBay, well, they have a whole lot of policies in their help section that if you violate, they may or may not punish you. And it's better to err on the side of not committing punishable offenses. Sort of the most famous one is the Vero program, which is verified rights owner, which means that people, companies, brands that make things can say you can't sell them, or say you can't use their logo, or you can't use their likeness or their name or their stock photo or whatever. And if eBay so chooses, it can then penalize you. And if eBay so chooses, it can just shut down your account at any point. So it's best to abide by their policies. There is a whole section in the seller center of the help called Vero, Vero, where all the brands that are persnickety say in what way they are persnickety, and you can peruse that if you ever feel worried. There are a few like that, the really super famous ones that people get caught up with. One is that you can't say Velcro because it's a brand name. And I have this so in my head that I felt weird saying it just now. But yeah, you can't say Velcro. You have to say hook and loop closure. And you can't say onesie because that is a trademark of Gerber, apparently. So it is a, one-piece baby suit or whatever you want to call it. Those are things eBay can penalize you for. Obviously, if you do any kind of scam or you do any business off of eBay, like you give someone your phone number and you start texting and making deals, over on Venmo or whatever, eBay, if they somehow find out, will be very angry. And you're not supposed to use stock photos or anything you steal from the internet. eBay is extremely inconsistent in policing that. May or may not happen. Brands may or may not catch you if you steal their pictures, or you steal them from Walmart or Amazon or whatever. Yeah, and you're not supposed to sell bootlegs or fake things. And again, eBay is sometimes catches it, sometimes doesn't. And their punishments for all of these and all their other rules are really kind of inconsistent. Like I once got my account suspended for, I think, 3 days because I sold some pens that were in a box, and they said in the like, in you open the box, and they were, like, these 2 fancy pens, and you open it up, and it said, like, Chanel pens, and there were 2 fancy pens, so I sold them as Chanel pens, but in fact, Chanel got super pissed, and I got suspended for 3 days, and they're not just Chanel pens, they're some kind of thing that was made in the 70s in great quantity, and you might run into. I've seen them again out there. It was a long time ago, and that was my first wonderful experience getting suspended. Actually, my only one, but you hear horror stories about people getting kicked off and can never have an account again or whatever. So, though it is dull, it is good to familiarize yourself with eBay's copious rules and take them also with a grain of salt because they sometimes contradict each other a little, and also they enforce them in a random fashion. I guess that's that. So, Yogi Vibin also asked, what is a typical good listing worded? So I'm going to say that the title is the most important part, and wording that properly is like your key to success. There's Otterly. Can you see him? He's a demon. And when you're writing a title, I would say think first about what people are searching for, like literally the words people would search for to find that item. Like that's your priority in writing a title. Search next for, or like prioritize next, putting those most important words at the beginning. So they're going to see it even if they're on a phone and the title's truncated, or they're going to see it if they have the attention span to read 3 words and not, 80 characters. And then the third thing would be if you have extra space in those 80 characters, then you can write something more adjectival and descriptive, or something that, like, I don't want to say clickbait, but something that would compel them to click through and want to look more closely, like something, kind of with character and fun. So, but the most important thing is to include terms that people are going to search for. And that's kind of why people call their titles like keywords. And yeah, like people also have alerts set for things. So like what's someone going to have an alert for? Not, I don't know, just like make sure you describe it in the kind of way that is the way people would set their alert or their search. And if you are selling vintage or antique stuff, if you know the date, definitely include it, or the range. If you know the place it's from, that's really important. Unless it's totally irrelevant, but people search for places, the place they live, the place they grew up. Also, like family names. So if it's a photo and it says who it is on the back and you can fit the name of the person, definitely put it in because people are searching for their name. Or even if it's like a pen from a gas station, but it's like, Joe Bazooka's gas station, put in Joe Bazooka because people are searching for that. And don't worry too much about putting in like that it's a lot of 7 or whatever. Like if you have room, do, but people aren't searching for a lot of 7. They're searching for, Victorian flower buttons or something. And it doesn't have to make sense as a sentence. You're just like chucking some keywords on a line. It doesn't need to read well. It doesn't need to have punctuation. Like that's a waste of your characters. And also on eBay, some some shorter forms of words map to longer forms. Like the famous one is VTG and vintage both turn out the same in searches. Also, like first, one ST versus FIRST both work the same. So don't write it out with 5 letters if you can get away with 3. That works for all the, what are those? Cardinal number, ordinal, whatever, all the numbers like that. But some don't, like one of a kind and OOAK do not map to each other. So do a couple searches and figure it out if there's something you use all the time. And also, like, don't use rare or scarce or hard to find or any of those kind of words in the title unless it really is super crazy special. Like you might write it in the description, but not in the title. And yes, I think you can still sell Playboys. I think. I just got some really funny 70s motorcycle and naked lady magazines in a lot at an auction in New Hampshire, of course. And it's called Easy Rider, I think. And I'm going to list those. I see some other ones up there, but I'll double check everything first. But it's pretty funny. It's like girls and bikes. But yeah, I think I've seen Playboys up there still. It's their whole adult policy is pretty random, I think. What else is going on in the chat? I think it was discussions of duplicated old skeleton keys. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, food. Yeah, don't sell expired food. Except that like they don't often catch you. I mean, people sell expired cosmetics and cleaning products and stuff like nobody's business. But food is a little bit more dodgy. So apparently that can, kill you or whatever. Let's see. I'm just looking at the chat. Just had an $800 magazine promo for nudity. Oh no. 70s magazine collection. Yeah, I've had a lot of Black Americana so-called items pulled lately. And sort of my bad. Like I should have taken them down. I'm looking into a new venue to sell some of that stuff. Not like I have a lot of it, but I know I have some. I have a lot of like sheet music. And there are people who collect it for totally legitimate purposes, and it seems a little weird to censor it. Though, I mean, I get it too. Like, systemic racism. Gotta do what you can. But anyway, I'll come back to that in the video if I figure it out. Oh yeah, my Hollywood hotties. Yep. They're like fully clothed, but they're hot. Yes. And I have got some sexy Victorian ladies fully clothed to list soon. Oh yeah, Jemima. Yeah. I know. I have a really kind of lovely cream of wheat ad with like I think they used to have a black guy chef as their person in ads. And yeah, it's not worth getting in trouble with eBay, though I've kind of let them take some stuff down and I haven't really gone through to find it. And then there's things, of course, like there's things that are questionable in both directions. Like some are really offensive, but they seem to only care about Black people, and like there's a lot of offensive like Native American stuff up there and other ethnicities. And I don't know, eBay got to be in their bonnet in one direction. But on the other hand, there's like some that are just, they're not even remotely racist or degrading. It's just like Black people in the 100 years ago, and it's just they're just Black. They're not being portrayed in a negative manner. So, yeah, you have to be careful. Anyway, I'm looking into some alternative venues on that one. I'll let you guys know. La, 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 la. Yes, cream of wheat hasn't been banned. Okay, that's good, but who knows? I think I have one more question. Oh, how can you protect your privacy on eBay? Well, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, you can use a post office box and you can have a fake name if you want, like on your public facing, like on your account name. You can use the name of your store. I do use a post office box now. I didn't used to. I never had a problem in many years, but I just did after I moved because I live right near the post office and it seemed like a professional move. I use it for my other businesses too, or lines of business, or whatever you want to call it. So it just seemed like, professional. And I know on European eBays, they show your address, your place of business, like it's some legal thing, transparency thing. But again, if you use a PO box, that shouldn't be a problem. And also, I know it used to be that people could get your phone number kind of more easily, but there is a setting in account settings where you can turn that off. So it's like manage communication with buyers or something. I think that's where it is. So yeah, I think your privacy should be pretty well protected on eBay as well as it is anywhere on the internet, which is completely questionable if you care about that sort of thing. So yeah. Okay, I was thinking of getting a P.O. box too for shipping address. I wonder if you can have a mailing address for purchases. And yes, you can put in a lot of different addresses on eBay. You can have stuff sent to your house, but only ship out of your P.O. box. And I don't think it, like my P.O. box and my house are the same zip code, but I don't think it would matter if they were, one adjacent or whatever in terms of calculating shipping. Yeah, I just have a tiny post office box. And in fact, if I get anything big, they put a key in it and then I go get it out of this big box they have. It's kind of cool. And I really never check it either, which is so bad. But I really get very little. I mean, I've probably had like 3 returns in the past year, and they've come there, and that's about it. And they were all totally stupid reasons too. Like here's, so I found all the software in the trash, like by the side of the road. Like tons, like it was so weird. Like all the like old copies of Windows and Microsoft Word and Office and stuff, and some other like kind of random office-y PC software. And it's all really old. It's like Windows 95 era, I think. 95 or 98, I guess. And so I listed some of it and I was like, this is old software. This isn't going to work with your, I wrote a million times in the listing all over the place that it was, old software for old systems, not compatible, buyer beware. And of course, both people who bought some were like, this doesn't work with my computer. And I did returns. So there's that. Like maybe not worth the hassle, except that it was free. So, well, I'll keep trying. But yeah, I have a pile of it back there I need to list someday. It's not a priority. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, now, does anyone have any questions or have something they want to talk about? Because I'm out of my script, my preordained questions, and I thought maybe I should plan something for this eventuality, but I forgot to. Like, how's everyone doing in their reselling? I've been my eBay has been like, if I list stuff, stuff sells. If I don't list stuff, crickets. It's just like very cause and effect, and it's like you got to keep feeding the beast. I also ran a lot of auctions the past week to get rid of stuff that's like just stupid. Like I have all these baseball cards that I don't know where they came from, but they've been kicking around for a million years, and like nobody wants to buy them even for $1.99. And so I just put them all on auction, and like 2 sold. And now I have a lot less items in my store, but I don't have what do you call it? Like cruft stuff that sucks, we'll say. So yeah, baseball cards, not my thing. And yeah, I also have some like Magic the Gathering cards, and like the good ones sold and the rest just sit there. And again, not my thing, not something I know about, very competitive. So I'm gonna just let those go, or do a lot or something. Auctions on vintage Barbie clothes. Yeah, I rarely run auctions on anything that I think has any value. Just because, yeah, I mean, I'll start them at what I want to get or close to it, because yeah, like vintage Barbie clothes are so specific. Like if there aren't more than one person looking for it, then it's just going to sell for the opening price. I don't really know how Barbie clothes, like what the psychology is there. Like, are people looking for specific outfits that they remember for their childhood, or they are looking for clothes that are cool or a certain style, or they're like, they're, making some sort of stop motion film with Barbies and they need certain outfits. Maybe that's just my friends. I don't know. Yeah, grading baseball cards, forget it. These were just like, this is where I got them. I remember now. I bought, this is like a weird, sad story, but I bought a desk from an estate sale, or it was like an online estate sale where you pick it up in person. And it was this desk that I had as a kid. And I like dreamed about it constantly for years and years, like literally like at night dreamed about it. And then I saw it online, and so I decided to buy it. And I went to pick it up, and it was so much smaller than I remembered. And it wasn't comfortable to work at all. And it was, in fact, a smaller model. It was like this Haywood Wakefield mid-century desk. And there were 2 sizes, and this was the smaller one. Like I had the big one when I was a kid. And it was just horrible. And so I sold it to an antique furniture refinisher. But it had all these baseball cards in the drawers, like a ton. Actually, it had a lot of cool things in the drawers that I sold, like stuff from like a radio station, like an on-air sign, and like some advertising pens, just random stuff. So anyway, I did like kind of get my money back a little bit on the desk between selling it and the baseball cards and radio stuff. But yeah, that's where I got them. I did not buy them on purpose. It was funny. I didn't know they were in there, and I was moving the desk, and they just fell out all over the road. There were like hundreds of baseball cards, and then I was like crawling around in my street picking them up, and it's cool. Mod Barbie outfits. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I was noticing somewhere, I guess maybe on eBay or an auction or something, Barbie outfits selling for a lot that were ones I had as a kid and I totally threw away. Like my mom moved out of my later childhood home before I started reselling seriously, and I was in a super minimalist phase then, and she was like, "Come get your stuff, your childhood stuff," and I just went and threw it all in the dumpster because I didn't want it, and I was trying to be stoic and not keep things for sentimental reasons, and like so much of it would have sold so well on eBay. Oh, it's sad, but that's why things become rare, because people do that. And yeah, I took pictures of a lot of it anyway, so there's that. Yeah, list a hair below market. Yeah, I know, minimalism. I keep saying I'm like a philosophical minimalist, but with a maximalist aesthetic. I think that's pretty true. Like I do really believe in simplicity and like streamlining and all these things, but like I live in a Victorian library. At least this room. The rest of the house isn't like that because there's other people involved. I threw out all my childhood toys from the 70s and 80s. Yeah, I know. And that's like all the Gen Xers are like looking for that stuff now. At least the ones who at some point stopped being kids and then started again. Like some of my friends just never stopped and have been playing with their Star Wars figurines straight through from the 70s till now. But, power to them. I know. It is sad, the toys, but that's the ephemeral nature of things and why they cost money, or we can sell them for money now, because most of us threw them out. It's not a hoarder, it's a maximalist. I went through a phase of watching that hoarder show on TV, and it was like let that be a lesson to you. It was like this sort of self-castigation thing where I had to like be like, this is what's going to happen if you don't behave yourself. It's terrible, terrible show. I mean, it's so exploitative of the people with mental illnesses, but it's like also you can't look away. It's horrible. Vintage computer stuff. I know. I have my Mac Classic in the basement and it still works. And I love that damn thing. And there's no reason to keep it, but I can't get rid of it for some reason. So I did at some point. Well, I think I do have a box of floppy disks back there that I was going to sell or something. Oh yeah, I couldn't watch the hoarders with animal hoarding. That's just too upsetting. I mean, I have 2 cats and a dog, and like, yeah, not good. I mean, the animal hoarder people. Yeah. But it also, I mean, I was like, okay, don't feed the rats. All right, got it. Yeah. It's also funny when you find things at estate sales that you've been carefully safeguarding for decades, and like you just see it there for like, a couple bucks. And then you buy it, and then you have 2 and one's super important to you, but the other one you can sell for, a couple bucks times 3 or whatever. That's always weird. I mean, we put value on stuff. It's not really intrinsic. Yeah, when I moved, I did like sell or get rid of or donate a lot of stuff. Just, I mean, I was kind of downsizing, so it was it's interesting. How I do my books. Oh, Well, I should have an accountant, and I don't at the moment. Um, I'm using GoDaddy bookkeeping, which I was such an enemy of GoDaddy for so long with their stupid their stupid ads with the ladies in the cars and stuff. Ugh. But I think they're a better company than they used to be. Like, I've met a lot of people who work there, and they're not as scammy as they used to be. But anyway, yeah, GoDaddy bookkeeping, and I only use it because it imports eBay and Etsy and all that stuff um, automatically, and it does a pretty good job. I mean, it's just like any other online accounting thing, except that it does that. So it pulls in your bank information and your eBay and stuff. And then I just like try to categorize things in a way that is useful for taxes. And then I just like brutal style do my taxes myself. And I totally shouldn't. And I did try to hire a bookkeeper recently, and well, anyway, she seems really awesome, but she got sick and she's been in and out of the hospital, and so that's kind of on hold, and hopefully she'll get better and start working again, and then I will take that off my plate. Or I'll find some tedious guy in a suit type accountant and be sad. I hope she gets better, or I find someone else cool like her. But yeah, I should totally have an accountant. That's not a good answer. GoDaddy is claiming their picture hosting is faster than before. Like for eBay or just in general? I'm not sure of all the things they offer. Like, do they do specific just hosting pictures like Imgur style? Let's see, I think I missed a question. Do you folks base listings on volume of items or sell-through rate? I so I mostly sell things that there really aren't a lot of because they're vintage. But if it's something like if I'm at a thrift store or something and I see some mass-produced consumer product type thing that I want to know if I should pick up and sell, I will look at, how many are for sale, how many have sold. So I guess that's sell-through rate. And just like what the prices are in both of those areas. Like I, pay more heed to the ones that have sold, but I also kind of care what the market is like in terms of what's selling now and where I would want to price it versus how much it costs or just what I think the value is. So both. I do I do pick up some like random mass-produced stuff sometimes. I've been doing it more lately just because I've been experimenting with, like, I've really previously based my model on selling a lot of small things, like small price and small value or value. But I've been trying to sell some things that are bigger value and maybe physically a little bigger lately just to experiment. So I've been picking up random stuff. Like I picked up a old Casio keyboard recently, some, new old stock board games, stuff like that. I mean, I always like new old stock stuff that's like actually, just was rotting somewhere in its original package. I mean, I don't know. I live pretty near where the original Parker Brothers factory used to be, but it's long gone. It's been, 20 years since it was there. But sometimes I just think about like what was in that building before it went away. Oh yeah, I totally consider how hard it will be to pack too. Like two of the things that I sell pretty frequently I consider to be a pain to pack, and it's funny because they're really not, but one is 78 records and one is large size sheet music. And I actually, well, thanks to Jiminy Flip It, I finally bought some actually large envelopes, so rigid envelopes. So I packed some sheet music today. It was so much easier because I just put it in a big rigid envelope. Like I used to do this whole rigmarole with all this cardboard and big poly mailers and sheet protectors, and oh, I hated selling sheet music, but it's much better now. But 78s do take a while. Um, it's because like I sandwich them in cardboard and then put them in a floating box with a bunch of packing materials and stuff. I have it down to a science, and I have all the supplies I need for it, but I try to not do anything more complicated than that too often. Sometimes, like I sold a laptop stand today. It was like something that was mine, and I sold it. And I was like, I have to figure out how to ship this. This is not one of my standard items, but I had some cool squishy stuff that helped out. Let's see. Accountants or bookkeepers that market to eBay sellers. Yeah, there is a guy called Not Your Father's Accountant, Not Your Dad's Accountant, something like that. I can try to find him. And he does market specifically to eBay sellers and like small business people. I did a consult with him once about some like obscure tax issue that I couldn't figure out on my own. Like it was just like a, I don't know, half-hour call or something. But so he's out there. Not Your Dad's Accountant, I think is his name. Yeah, Not Your Dad's CPA. Okay. Great. Yeah, him. I don't think he was particularly expensive. I think he was just like the same as others, but I was literally like over 3 years ago, and I don't remember. I wasn't super motivated to get an accountant then like I am now, but he's worth looking into, talking to at least. And I think there are probably others as something worth looking into. Like the woman I was talking about is she's just she specializes in small businesses and in just like dealing with your psychological money issues. I know that sounds really hokey, but she just has this really like empathetic attitude that I liked. I met her at a conference years ago, and I've just sort of kept her name in mind because it just seems so cool to like not just like be like cold hard numbers, but also be like, like, are you not sending invoices because you're like afraid you're not worth so much? Or I don't know. It just seemed like nice to have like that yin yang of left brain, right brain going on. But anyway, I'm sure there's other cool accountants out there somewhere. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's 10:20. I should probably stop babbling. Unless anyone has any questions. Sorry. Oh, my partner's letting the dog out, so it must be like almost time for bed. Oh. I mean, she comes right back in. She doesn't stay out there. She's a princess, not a wilder dog. So does anyone have any final questions or parting remarks? Oh, it is very quiet. Yes, thank you all for attending because, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And it's really weird just like talking to yourself in your computer. When is my next video? I have a couple lined up that are almost done. Like, there's the one about the magic URL generator thing, and I have one about resolution. It's like the boring ones are coming, like how to prep your picks for eBay, and resolution and what that's all about. And I need to finish the Art Deco one, but I'm still like thinking about it. And I don't know. I have a list of topics, so you can make requests if you have any. And I'll do another live sometime. Oh, cool. I'm glad resolution will be helpful. It's like a very detailed explanation, but you can like skip that part and go to the end where I talk about eBay if you want, unless you want to nerd out. It's nerdy stuff. Hello. All right. So I'm gonna go and do something else now. But again, thank you all for attending my live chat and also for watching the videos. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for for paying attention to my little weird channel where I don't try to be professional at all because it just seems silly. All right, resolution and picture sizing. Yes, I will. That is coming very soon. And I hope you all have a fabulous night or day, whatever is appropriate. And I'll talk to you soon.